Everybody's ready. I'm gonna call to order the Town of Swanton regular select board meeting. It is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. If everybody would, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go around the room for agenda review, around the table. Christina,
I can second you.
Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
Nicole,
I'm all set.
Carl. I'm all right. I'm good, Nick.
Two things. I want to get an update on the grant for the Historical Society building, just to see just where it's at this point. That we discussed it last meeting.
Yeah.
And also just have a question about something that was mentioned in a prior meeting, line striping on McQuamshire Road.
Okay, so grant under Old Town Business,
Yeah.
grant for,
Grant for the Historical Society building,
Which-
the museum that currently exists, the depot, yeah.
all right, and so the other was line striping on McQuam.
Yeah, just an update on that.
Okay. Steve, did you say you're good? Brian?
Okay, I've got, under new business, we're gonna add a new appointment to the Swanton Recreation Commission. And somebody from there will be reporting on that. They'll be showing up. And I just got that this morning from Betsy, so.
Okay.
And that's the only thing that I have additional.
Okay. And we will go ahead and get started. Minutes, regular select board meeting, September 2nd, 2025.
Second.
So moved to approve or to disapprove?
To-
Gentlemen, what's that?
To approve.
To approve? Okay. Motion been made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Public comments. This is for anything that is not on the agenda for tonight. And none. We're gonna move on to law enforcement's, Swanton Animal Control, page 4 of the package. A lot of unlicensed dog issues I see.
Yeah.
With the incident happening on 8/26, where he the owners avoiding him, is there another method that we should be following up on, or should I follow up on it?
He said he's gonna keep going there.
Okay.
What's that, Kath?
Whenever he's gonna keep going there, pursuing that 8 Platt Street.
Oh, the gym is?
Yeah, and the dog is a puppy, so it's probably had his first round of shots, but he said he's probably 7 or 8 months old.
All right, anything else regarding, animal control? As far as the communication, everything good? Looks like it with Jim. Looks like he's, been available to chase down quite a few of these, so. Good. Moving on to expenditures, these are orders from August 20, 2025 to September 16, 2025. We'll start with the general orders in the amount of $71,882.75. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the general orders in the amount of $71,882.75.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Are we in our final payment stage for the Pike Center up here? I noticed it was, maybe it was in another highway, but it looks like we issued a check.
For the,
So,
The trailhead?
yeah,
oh, we've got,
four.
that made 140,000 total out of about 460 something. Yeah, they'll be coming in with 2 or 3 more, cause now
Okay.
they've really turned to work on. Yep. All
Well,
right?
it's not part of the general orders. But,
No,
well, what about the grant? Does the grant come to us and we pay it out, or do the grant pay bills themselves?
we pay the bill and we submit for
We have to pay
reimbursement from the
everything up
state.
front.
Yes,
Okay,
and we paid once and got a pretty good turnaround from the state reimbursing, and the second one just got sent in. The state said it looks good and they're sending it in for reimbursement, so.
and our match.
We tested it, it's a 20%.
Yeah. So it's about 120.
What's that?
About 120,000 our match is gonna be.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else on the general orders? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Highway orders in the amount of $61,338.77.
I'll make a motion to approve the highway orders at $61,338.77.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Library orders in the amount of $2,870.32.
I'll make a motion to approve the library orders in the amount of $2,870.32.
Wait a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. This is highway and general payroll for a total amount of $33,818.88. Mayor, motion to approve.
I'll move that we approve the payroll orders for the date and amount stated.
There a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Library payroll orders in the amount of $4,601.85. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the library payroll orders at $4,601.85.
And I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Special order is in the amount of $81,008.76. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the special account orders for the amount stated and the date stated.
There a
I'll
second? Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Just to follow up, yes, sir, we're paying, that's the full amount, and we submit for reimbursement. This is, well, the last three are all related to the LVR, not four are related to the LVRT. So,
Do they submit every time, they pay back every time you make a submission, then?
Right.
They don't wait right till the end.
no,
So.
no, we tested it right off. The first time we got a big bill from, Wright's Excavating, we submitted for reimbursement,
Yeah.
and we got it pretty quick.
Okay.
I
And
do
we'll
expect-
get so we're gonna end up getting 80% of that back. then.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And Kathy's got a good spreadsheet of the different things that we've, spent money on between the engineering and the, construction. The, state rep, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. These are all of the orders. Any further discussion on special orders? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving on to 5, which is a highway update. Crew last 4 weeks, they've been doing some mowing, they've been prepping roads for paving, placing material along the shoulders after paving, driveways around mailboxes and in areas where there's a pretty good drop off, putting material there. Been doing some vehicle repair. Today they were down on McQuam Shore, working with the tree company, taking out a very large tree that had 4 large trunks that was completely dead, and there's several more down there that we're gonna be going after. Paving, all the paving for this year has been completed. I will state what we went out for bid on. We had Sweet Hollow Road. Well, we switched Cook Road and Sweet Hollow Road because there was an error on the distance that we were counting for Sweet Hollow Road. I can go into more detail if anybody wants it. But we were gonna be over if we did Sweet Hollow Road. Cook Road needed to be done. So we're still getting the same tonnage as what we put on the contract. Pike did a nice job. Swanton Hill Road up there is very nice now that it's paved and it's been dropped 7 feet. It's a much safer situation. So unless there's any questions about the paving, it is
Swanton
complete.
Hill did get paved.
The whole thing and Reynolds Road up there. And Swanton Hill from French Hill Road all the way up to the end of the road.
And you had some left for Cook Road.
Yes. Yeah, Cook Road was under that initial 400 something thousand we
Yeah.
did. And we just substituted it and we'll get Sweet Hollow next year. Swanton Hill, mentioned all the work's completed. When we get the bill from Pike, they're gonna give us 3 separate bills. That way we'll be able to tell you exactly what we spent up on Swanton Hill. And then we'll see what we have for balance, and as we talked about, probably use it next year for that culvert up on, Berry Road.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Street culvert, I know you're working on those easements. Hopefully we get to it this fall, but trees also are a priority. The one thing about doing Brooklyn this fall is the groundwater level is so low right now, it would be the best time to do it, cause that area in the spring can get very wet and very nasty. Line striping, I notified L&D safety markings that our paving is complete. So they will call when they're ready to come up and pave the roads or not pave the roads, to stripe the roads that we have. Nick, as far as McQuam Shore, what's your question? I can probably answer it right now.
Yeah, the question is, I know we discussed that the state already striped McQuamshire and that the paving could darken it further. Are we gonna have to redo it, or is it looking clear enough that we could avoid that, or is it?
No, when you pave it, you pave over the striping. Striping's gone. So spoke to the guy from the state. He originally made it sound like we didn't notify him. So I sent him an email from the spring where we notified him what we were doing. And then he backed off and said, okay, we will let L&D know that they need to come back and do McQuam Shore. And I called L&D last week to tell them about our roads and asked them about McQuam Shore. And they stated that they already striped it in early August, so I gotta go back to the guy from the state, because the state should pay for it. The conversation's amazing. When I originally notified the state, someone at District 8 said, yep, even though you notified the guy that handles the striping and told him, said they'll probably stripe right over it anyway. And that's exactly what they did.
Yep.
So we'll see if we can get them to do it, because right now, that does not have any lines, and then county road, the state has not striped that yet. That's a class 2 road, so they should be striping it. So we will have more conversations with the state and we'll see how it goes. Let you know next month.
Okay.
Trees, I already talked about trees. Berry Road culvert, East Engineering is working the design. They expect to have permit applications ready in about a month. And the aim is to have this project ready for a 2026 structures grant application. We'll see how that goes. Besides the structures grant, we're gonna have to put in a fair amount of our own money, but what we saved on Swanton Hill and maybe taking some out of our paving for a year could help get that culvert replaced. That current culvert up there, it's about 8-10 feet in diameter, and to meet the state's new requirements, it's gonna be a 35-foot opening there underneath that culvert.
Cubic feet,
35 lineal feet.
lineal feet.
It's a big structure that's gonna go up there.
It is a lot of water can go through there.
Yeah, that Halloween storm that
Yeah.
washed both sides of that other
Yeah.
culvert.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's
And-
not gonna be a cheap ordeal.
No, close to $500,000. The board, it's within my spending authority, but we have about $1,800 in the balance under culverts and signs. We need to buy a culvert for Bushy Road. It's around $3,000. I would like the board to just okay me to take $1,000 from the road improvement line item to cover the difference. There's quite a bit of money left over there, and
I'll make a motion to, make that transfer in the budget so that we can get the culvert on Bushy Road.
there's a second.
Second,
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Any other questions for highway?
Nope.
Old Town Business, corrective motion to abatement of taxes on the 9/2/2025 regular select board meeting.
In the minutes of the last month's, the last meeting on the abatement, the minutes reflect the correct information. However, when we played the tape back, in the minutes, it's actually, it was stated in the motion that for 2025 taxes, it's actually 2024. And so that's just, if you would just make a corrective motion.
So I'll make a corrective motion to change that from 2025 to 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
So moved. LVRT trailhead update. A lot of progress has been made in the last couple of weeks. The pavilion is all done except for metal on the roof and a little bit of staining. Pavement, both layers were put on between yesterday and today. Very, very nice job if you take a look at that. Striping will be tomorrow. Landscaping is pretty much done as the 6 trees have been planted. Topsoil's been put down, seeded, mulched. A little bit of signage, wayfinding signage to do that's about 70% complete, but they've got a little more to do with that. There is a 3-sided structure to go around the porta potty. That's got to be constructed. They started it today. Should only take a couple days. So we extended them from 1 August to 19 September, which is Friday, and they will be very close to being. They won't be contract complete, but they should be very close to substantial completion. So that is a good thing, and be very nice to get that open, which leads us, well, I don't know if there's any questions on the parking area itself. Anybody have anything?
No, the pavilion does look very nice. And you put up a nice fence for the lighting there that the neighbors were concerned about in there, and it does look really nice. Yeah, I went by there today.
Okay. Now, speaking of LVRT, we need to talk about whether or not we're gonna have some type of grand opening, ribbon cutting, whatever you wanna call it. Brian asked him to make some calls down to Montpelier, and I think all we got was crickets on the other end of the
right.
phone line.
However, late this afternoon.
Okay, all right.
No, well, Representative Matt Walker called me on an unrelated subject. I said, well, as long as I got you on the phone, I asked him who is a good contact person in the governor's office. And he said, well, he says, you know, they got to cut $7 million out of the transportation budget. And there's a JTOC, Joint Transportation Oversight Committee, meeting tomorrow that he's going to. So he's going to get and tell somebody in the governor's office to call Brian Savage in the town of Swanton. So what we're going to do, the point of that is to see if we would like to invite the governor, but we would like to know what his availabilities are and what days are available, and we can set the times and dates then. We still have the signs advertising it, the lawn signs that we didn't use from the groundbreaking ceremony, but I talked to Matt with that when I had him on the phone. I said, we'll just get some stickers and put over the correct date and time on it. He said that'd be fine. We can certainly do that. So as soon as we hear back from somebody in Montpelier with the governor's schedule, I can update you and see what it is.
Yep. Debbie asked a question the other day when we stopped to take a look at it. can we allow if somebody wanted to put a little coffee truck up there and sell coffee and soda and for certain times of the day, the parking, I wonder if that would be permissible?
I think it's technically our property through the lease.
I mean, it's just another service, that's.
Right, it's a question I certainly can ask the one who handles the rail trails, but I think because it's our property, that we should be able to allow that if the board makes that decision.
They could go to McDonald's or the other places, but it's kind of a nice little courtesy that we might, maybe nobody would be interested, but.
Well, with other employers right around there, you know, that they might walk right across the street and use that
What do
too.
you call those, food trucks?
Right,
I mean, it's just a thought.
no, that's something we should be looking into, as this whole thing becomes a, you know, fruition and.
At least in the summertime, probably a little tough in the winter.
Maybe, it's a 4-season trail, there might be
Yeah.
a mass amount of people looking to get a hot cocoa in the winter.
So, one thing we talked about was the day of the week, maybe a Saturday. You know, Saturday morning, we're only gonna have 3 or 4 before it gets too cold, and we don't wanna do this anyway, but once we hear from the governor's office, I think we send a note out right off the
Yeah.
bat and see if the board's good with it.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be too fancy, but to me, it's worth getting
I guess the
some
government-
people up here and some recognition and in the paper to help advertise and you know what we did.
The governor
Yeah.
and his wife are both avid bikers, and so I'm sure they'd like to.
Yeah, and the other time before, I think just to be politically correct, you should send an invitation to Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
to-
Yeah, Brian and I
Yeah,
talked
once we
about
get the
that,
date done.
absolutely, because he's
Yeah.
the one who got that grant
The
for us
federal
to the
money,
state,
yeah,
the federal
yeah.
money, yeah, absolutely.
And if he can't come, he'll probably send, so I'm sure he'll send somebody
Send him
from his
back.
office,
Oh, I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
Which brings up another issue. Our sign is pretty well blocked right now. Or, out here, see it, the road.
The electronic sign.
Yeah, you know what, if this is gonna open up, it'd be nice to have that on there, and I know that other thing will be out of there by then for the after-go party, which I agree, you know, it's a great thing, but, it should have been not blocking our sign.
You know, is it blocking?
Well, it's hard to
Oh, it
see.
is. Okay, well, we've had this issue before.
Well, have you driven there? Have you driven to the, have you, at the end of First Street, to Grand Avenue?
Right, but I'm the type that it's always there, I don't pay attention to it.
Okay, well, it is difficult
Okay.
to see. You can see mostly the top lines, hard to see the bottom lines.
Okay,
Yeah, to me, we move that sign,
yeah.
that
Well,
after all, because
Yeah, I mean, anybody can go out there and put a sign anywhere
Well,
they
that's-
want.
no, they're not supposed to.
They-
That's why somebody took all those
they
small
need
ones
to-
out.
Right, they need to ask the village permission to put a sign in the park.
Which they probably did, this organization must be
Yeah.
aware of that.
But we can just politely say.
Yes,
no,
if they
not
could
to
just
block
move it
that
off
sign.
to the side so that,
Right.
you know, everything could be seen.
Yeah.
I believe there's enough room for both of them
Oh,
to
I
be
would
seen
think
well.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
So, okay, I'll call Bill tomorrow and see what we can get done.
and if he doesn't know anything about it, I don't know who's in charge of the afterglow, but you probably could find that out fairly easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've got contact info if
okay.
you need it.
And with that in mind too, maybe we should make something that big to put out there too. Because it is, you see it, you know, and you know what it is.
It definitely sticks out right there, absolutely.
Maybe you can see about getting a banner done for that. That we could use, you know, maybe in the future, change the lettering. I don't know if they can make banners where you can keep reusing them by taking the lettering off.
I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
that way it's printed up, but they're like 125, 150.
Yeah, it'd be worth doing because I think it seems to be more visual than our sign.
Once we figure out the date, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, once we figure out the date, yeah.
Once we figure out the date, and then, you know, it'd be nice to get some kids and bikes possibly
Yeah.
up there, as we
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
before, so. More to follow on that, but, hopefully we can get it done and have some, nice weather like we're having right now. Okay, next item of business is Maple Grove decision. And this is a follow-up to a meeting a couple of weeks ago. We had a lot of discussion, homeowners, developer, but we never, as a board, made a decision on what we are gonna do as far as going forward or not. Wanna remind the board of our June 2024 motion that we talked about, taking over the road, the second section of the road up at Maple Grove Estates. Talked about having the top coat put on. Developer pays for core testing to ensure the road is built to A76 standards. The developer pays all legal fees the town will incur. The town of Swanton will have in writing the approved stormwater permit plans and not incur a large cost to the town of Swanton. Since those motions were made and approved, the whole stormwater permit, we've got some more clarification on that, which we've talked about at subsequent meetings. So here we are today. We had the core testing done. I think everyone on the board is aware of the core test. And that is one step out of 4. And we need to decide what we are gonna do as far as moving forward or not. We're taking over that second section. And tonight wouldn't be a decision, I don't think, on taking it over. It'd be a decision of, are we even gonna move forward or not? And if we're moving forward, what requirements are we gonna have other than, or just what we stated before? So I open this up right now to the board to discuss, and then I'll open it up to some folks in the audience.
Just have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Who's the storm water permit issued to at this point?
I believe it would be the Hemans.
You, okay. The town has nothing to do with it at this point.
Not at this point. And that's part of what we found out from the state. If we are to take over the road, we need to be a co-permittee on that permit. And we can get into a letter of agreement with the developer, and then if it switches over to an HOA, where we are a co-permittee, but that agreement would say we did not want to incur any costs, et cetera. But that's something that needs to be discussed in a letter of agreement if we go down that path. But right now, the Hemans are the permittee.
Are you looking for a motion so we can get discussion going?
Well, I think I just want to see if board members have anything more they want to add or ask. As road commissioner, I've tried to lay out exactly what I think is a requirement for a road. I think I've laid out factually what we found regarding the road. And I don't know if there's any other questions regarding that. But this is where we're at, so.
Well, I guess I'll open the discussion, and the A76 standards don't specifically call for 18 inches of crushed stone. So our standards are a little bit higher than what A76 is, which is, probably fine. But this was done a long time ago. And as far as I could see, the intent was that they were going to take over the road in the future when the project was done. And it was built to the same standards as the road they took over before. So I don't know, and their engineer seems to be to stand behind that it was built to those standards. It's kind of difficult to, kind of backpedal at this point in time and switch over to the new ones, because that's one of the issues here, is the amount of time that's gone by. The road itself, its appearance is very good, and the drainage is, I don't really see any drainage issues up there. It's naturally drained, and the road is high above the other train, so you're not going to have much of a problem there. I don't know. That's just the way I feel, because it was implied in the past that it was going to happen, and homeowners bought their property with that in mind. They might not have bought that property if it was Because part of it, the other end, it has been sold as a private, and then the lots on the road. So it's a totally different situation, so I think the intent was always there. And I know a lot of time has gone by, the town has policies now that we made policy changes. There was a policy at one time, the town wasn't gonna take it over any roads, and I don't know, that probably went on for 4 or 5 years. Not, in my feelings, not a sustainable policy, and I think, if we expect this community to see growth and, sustainable growth in the future, to help, stabilize tax bases and grand list growth at a reasonable rate, we're gonna have to participate in the infrastructure. Because if we don't, they'll go to towns that do. That's my feelings.
Earl, when you
Okay.
said, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just would like to counter a little bit. Fully understand the 18 inches is in our new road takeover policy. So A76, if this was to A76 standards at 15 inch, I think the board could have that discussion and say, let's go ahead and prove it. What we've had core samples taken, which it was your motion to get core samples, we don't have 15 inches of gravel there. The stuff doesn't disappear over time. We have some places 9, we have one place where it's 6.5, so we don't have the 15 inches. I would sit here and say, if I knew we had crushed stone in there at 15 inches, then yes, it would meet A76 standards, but we don't have that right now. There were 2 engineers involved. The engineer that met with us last year up there is the one that was tasked with providing the borings and is not here with us tonight. And he's in his email to us said it doesn't meet the requirement.
I know, that's what it says, but the road looks like it does.
Earl, I just have a question. You
Yep.
can help me.
Go ahead.
When you said you think it was implied that the town would take the road over years ago, do you have something that?
Well, they have them minutes they brought, and I did talk with the former road foreman, and that's basically what he assumed that was gonna happen.
Who's that?
Harold, he was in there at the time. But then, right, it's because at that period, it was like 2018, so if it would have been a year or two later they were planning on taking over, it wouldn't have happened because at that point in time, when I first got back on the board again, somebody came in, I don't remember who it was, but they wanted the road, they were asking that same question, and the reply was that the town is not taking any roads over at the present time.
And just if you can help me, on the stormwater permit, which is now owned by Mr. and Mrs. Heeman,
Yep.
who own the road, if we took over the road, would we have any ongoing liability for meeting the terms of that?
The stormwater is, in our policy, says that, that if we have to be co-signees
I
or
understand.
co-permit holders, but the cost for the permits will be borne by either the developer or the homeowner.
But the homeowners not owning the road have no liability to cover the cost at this point? Without an HOA, they don't own it?
Without an HOA, it falls on the developer right now. They're the ones that have to, because it's not a town road anyways, at this point in time.
Yep.
They had to get the original permit, and what are you in the process of updating or renewing the permit?
We're in the process, this week we paved it.
Yeah, we're talking stormwater. Are you,
Well, Travis Belisle has been in there, Rocky Ridge has been in there, he's updated everything.
so you had to renew the permit, I would assume, because
That's
if
in the
it's,
process.
yeah.
It's in the process.
Plus the permit includes total impervious surfaces of a development.
That's right.
Which would include rooftops, driveways, patios, and the road. So the town by owning the road, have a percentage of that impervious surface, and then each individual homeowner will have a percentage of the impervious surfaces, so.
That corresponds with the permit.
Yeah. Now, but the law also is that, and when an HOA comes in to take over, the town has to be on there as a co-permittee. That's the insurance policy of the state in the event that something should go wrong with the HOA, so they'll come.
They'll come to us first,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
That's a liability that I'm concerned about.
Well.
I agree, it's something I'm also very concerned
But
about.
of course, the rules keep changing in that aspect in Montpelier, so who knows?
But we're already in that situation. So we're liable for Steve, not for just this one, but everyone down the road if they don't pay up. That's basically what's gonna happen.
I think there'd be if there isn't in state law, there has to be a protection for the town, a further backup plan in the event that happens.
But with this situation here, we would finally do it in writing. That was signed by the town and the HOA or the developer, whoever ends up keeping that permit. That says they are responsible for the cost of maintaining that permit.
Yeah, it'd be a legal agreement and it'd have to be sent
Yep.
down and recorded, in the, state,
But at this
stormwater
point, there's
folks.
no HOA,
What's that?
there's no HOA.
Not at the present time, it's not done yet. The
It's
HOA,
in the process.
In the pro-
It's in the process. We've met with a lawyer and, we're waiting on a couple other things to finalize. And then we will have the HOA. We just have to, Travis Belial's been in there the last couple of days. He's been updating it. He's got a really good relationship with Peter Mazurek. Peter's gonna sign off on it and then we can move forward with the HOA. Taking it over. We've had a lawyer's meeting so far, but everything's slow.
and as homeowners, you understand your responsibility then.
I don't understand why this is such a big deal. I understand the board got burnt on something in the past,
Yeah.
that should not be reflected upon us.
Yeah, you're gonna get your turn. We're gonna let we're gonna let the board ask the questions and we're gonna open it up for just some basic stuff. If there's changes to the
Well,
information that's provided
I'm
before.
kinda sorry I did ask the question.
You asked the question, you got an answer, and then you got another comment.
Alright,
I got a question
Yeah,
for
go ahead.
Earl. There's other roads that we partially control. If we take over this road without it meeting A76 standards, do you think there would be pressure to take over other roads in the future?
well, I think we got a problem, to be honest with you, because we don't really, I even asked Brian, what do we got for design and how does this work and what do we hand somebody? Well, we don't really have anything other than that one sheet policy we got. Did take a look at Highgate's, thanks, Nicole, got that. They get involved in the process a little bit earlier, so, I think we need to make something that's more clear to the people that are in the development business, what's expected of them.
You're absolutely right. I got two cross sections from a professional engineer to add to our road takeover policy. And we should also have a conversation with our DRB
Yeah.
about when they're approving developments, that it's made very clear what the road takeover
Yes,
policy is.
yes.
So that they get, not 876, because 876 doesn't even require asphalt on top of it.
Yeah.
15 inches of gravel, that's 876. So yes, we
Or
should have
sand
it.
too, it
What's
says
that?
sand, or sand or gravel.
No, it doesn't say sand.
Oh.
No, sand does not have the
Okay.
same structural
All right.
strength. But we should have clear-cut road cross sections that we get.
But I mean, to try to be fair to developers in the future, we need to be very clear about how the process is gonna go. And,
That's there, but let's get back to.
yeah,
And to answer Nick's question, I already know of a couple other roads that people are talking about, they'll be before us, ones we turned down before. So. Anything else on the board?
No.
Vicky, any new information for us?
Basically, I'm gonna let these guys speak because you know why I'm here. I'm trying to get it for these guys so they don't have to worry about their road being plowed and doing this for Buddy. And he'd be real happy if you guys stood by the word that we told him, because we invested a ton of money, and we're just hoping you do the right thing, because he's been very happy working with all of you for years and years. And it's time you guys, I mean, you made a promise to him. And that's where I'm gonna leave it, and
Can I speak first? Just-
No, she's talking. Just a second.
and I'll just yield my time to the residents of Maple Grove.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna ask, if you don't have new information, then, we don't speak. If you got new information for us regarding this, then speak up. Who wants to go first?
I do.
Okay?
The thing that gives me heartburn here is that you keep pinning this on a course handle. And looking at all of the resources out there, all the documents, all the references, there's nothing that supports utilizing a core sample from 13 years later to bridge back to what the road was constructed with at the time of construction. Nothing. And if you have something, please share it with me, because I haven't seen it. And you would have to have something that says every year this could be affected by some percentage, because you're gonna get into the same problem whether you do 2-year-old road, 3-year-old, 4-year-old road. You're gonna take a core sample, the core sample gives you a date and time of what the road is at that time. That's all it does. You cannot use that alone to get back to the original construction. In here, it also tells that in order, I mean, this is stuff that's out on the World Wide Web. Anybody can punch it in. I'm not a brainiac here. And it basically says, it can reveal the physical condition of the layers, including signs of deterioration, moisture damage, and debonding between layers. Why the original subbase thickness cannot be determined. The subbase is the foundation layer of aggregate placed directly on the subgrade, the natural ground. Over 13 years, the forces of traffic, weather, and the surrounding environment causes these changes. And then there's several other points here to be made, but the other says, if you really want to get the original construction records, the most reliable way to learn the original specification is by reviewing the original construction plans, design documents, and inspection reports. These record documents the target fitness at the time of construction. Now, in order to make that concept work of core samples, bridging back to the original construction, what gives me heartburn is you basically have to take and delegitimize an engineering group that is certified in 4 different states to do business. It's rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau. And basically what you're doing is you're delegitimizing their process, and you're telling them, we don't believe you. And in that sign-off sheet that he did and provided to this board, he determined that he looked at the thicknesses. It's stated right in his document. So you're delegitimizing him for that in order to make that bridge back from a core sample from today, 13 years ago. And let me tell you something. You're gonna get in trouble with core samples. That's not the place to be doing it. Do it up front, hire your own engineer, make the developer pay for it, and have them up there at the time that road's certified. It's a matter of a measurement on a yardstick. It's that simple. That is the place you should be doing it. You hire the engineer, you make the developer pay for it, and you pay the engineer, so there's no cross-contamination of what's going on. That is where it belongs. It doesn't belong in a core sample. If you go down a core sample, the core sample road, what are you gonna do if somebody comes in and the core samples say they're 2 inches shy? 4-year-old road, 3-year-old road, they're 3 inches shy. You gonna refuse them too? Do you have something that says that ours is degraded to the point that all of the stuff that it's seen over 13 years is abnormal? Is there some sheet? Is there some form? Is there something out there in the world that would lead us to believe that that's not normal or that couldn't happen? And if you tell somebody that's got 2 inches shy, you're not gonna allow them, I wouldn't think you would, because of what you're gonna do to us. And if you did do that, we're not gonna be happy. And you could say, well, that was only 2 inches shy. And we're gonna look at you and say, yeah, but the road was only 3 years old. So where's your formula? Where's your degradation formula? Don't go down that road is what I'm trying to say. I think it's a
Okay.
dangerous path.
All right. And this is all based on your opinion, and you've done a lot of research with AI, and AI has right at the bottom, AI is not always true. I've got engineering experience. I've talked to professional engineering. We're not talking 2 inches here. We're talking some cases 9 inches. So there's a big difference. So you've had your say. I've had my say. Who else wants to add something here?
I just have a question, because I'm not here for this, but, my understanding of that development was 3 sections. So how long has it been since the second section that you're taking over was completed, as far as building wise, like the houses?
The houses, I don't know when each one was built.
Like the last one, I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't have that
Do you know when
info.
the last one, in
Well,
that
it's been
section?
10 years,
Okay, so
10 years plus.
So 10 years, and like you guys are saying, that you're absolutely right, this corp is 13 years old. If developers are gonna follow that, thinking, the road should have been applied for 10 years ago. Because,
We did, but
But-
they said they couldn't take it over.
but that's fine, but a core sample, it doesn't lie, like, we're not talking about an inch, and quite frankly, in my opinion, because, so I'm on the planning commission, we make these rules with the input of the town people. We had a development last year, that put in a driveway and a cul-de-sac for 3 houses. When they went to permit it, the certificate of occupancy, the cul-de-sac was 50 feet too small. So they told the people they had to fix it. What do? They scraped 2 inches or 3 inches of topsoil off and put stone on it, so it looks right. And I'm not saying this is how you guys built it, because I don't know anything about this, but it's just that my job on the planning commission is to make rules for people to follow, because not everybody is out there with the town's best interests in their mind, or whatever. And so the only way that we can enforce these rules is with samples when the permit is applied for. So, like Joel said, a road isn't, the point of the road is this standard that we just put in the new bylaws, is that the road is built to what the state and others find to be structurally sound. It's not gonna lose 9 inches of gravel or stone in 10 years. If it does, they would never adopt that standard, because if you think about it, I mean, how much older, hundreds of years old are the roads in Swanton? There would be no roads left if every 10 years they lose half of their stone base. They would just sink into nowhere. So, I guess my point is regardless of who it is, that the town needs to stick to the rules that were made with input. You know, we took 2 years to do this, and with all kinds of public input, and we did have a lot of people come to the meetings, that we can't make these rules and then change them. And yes, this is a 13-year-old road, but the problem is that it's being asked to be taken over now, not 13 years ago. So there probably were different standards then, but this is where as the town we have to say, okay, as time goes on, technology changes, we find better, more effective ways to do things, that we need to require the same of our developers. You know, there might be other roads that people come in for the same thing that are an inch or two short, but it's an inch or two short is an inch or two short. You still gotta to maintain the standard of the town, because if we let one person slip through, it just, you know, I mean, we talked about this at our meeting last week. All our board, and we don't have a small board, has families, and we basically volunteer our time every month. Why are we gonna volunteer our time to make rules for the town that people support if we're not gonna enforce them? You know, I'd rather be at home with my wife and my kids than to be out here every month.
And as we stated, we're gonna work
Yep.
to improve that piece of it, so.
And I think that if you, in the new bylaws, it is significantly more detailed, what is required of people, developers. So I think we have worked on that some, and in most of it, it does go back to your road takeover policy, and that is a big thing that we did spend a lot of time talking about that, because it is important that we shrunk the binder a lot to streamline and make it more easy to find what's required.
Okay, thank you. What I'd like to do is get, again, the homeowners and if there's some new information, pass it on.
Tom Perry. So, back in your, I think it was our last year's meeting, was it June 2024? Before our topic came up, when you guys took over the vote, there was a topic that came up before that, which piqued my interest. The topic was on the agenda. It was your guys' agenda.
Is this new information related to
This is
Maple
just-
Grove
yes.
Estates?
Yes, I'm getting it. It was how to promote Swanton. was
No,
the topic.
okay, we're talking specifics
I
of
am.
Maple Grove
I am.
Estates and road takeover.
Yes, I am.
You folks wanna hear this?
Just give me 2
About
seconds.
promote
It'll
Swanton?
take me 2 seconds.
I'd give him
to
to
the
2
point.
seconds.
Okay,
I'm just saying, the point we're asking for this is, the only way to promote Swanton, the best way to promote Swanton, get your LVRT takeover, that's fine, is to make neighborhoods that are family friendly, that invite children, families, community to move in from other towns, right? That have bus pickup, road plowing, etc. That's why this is so important, us to speak to this and on behalf of any other developments out there, because I think it has been lacked in this town, as you said. The town of Highgate seems to have their crap together a little bit better on that than we do. So, I want to specifically go to A76 standard. What's the difference between the word should and must, in your opinion?
I'm not here to answer that.
That's fine. What's the difference between the word suggested and required? Because you guys used the word required earlier. Honestly. What's
I'm
the
not,
difference between-
I'm here to talk about
I am.
how the road is built and
I
whether
am.
we're gonna take it
That's
over or
all.
not.
This is A76 standard right here.
Yeah,
I want you to note what I've highlighted. And the wording up top, very specifically. Oh my God, I didn't bring a copy for everyone. So I want you to notice right up top. Sub-base standard and cushion subgrade should be constructed and compacted to the dimensions shown in accordance with VAOT standard specifications for construction where local ordinances have been adopted relative for road dimensions and construction, and they should go. The dimensions suggested, not required, suggested, are intended to be applied only in low traffic volume conditions, which we have, average daily traffic less than 250 vehicles per day. As I stated last time, I used to live on Bushy Road when they paved that. They ground it up, rototilled it. That's not crushed stone you see, that's rototilled pavement on top of pure dirt on a road that sees more than 250 vehicles per day. You have nothing on your road. Where's your core samples for all the rest of your roads? Where's the core samples for all your roads in the whole town? Why did you specifically require it for us suddenly?
this road has been on the records for a long time.
I know.
Okay, so it's
I
a
know.
totally different issue, folks. Are we gonna
I don't
continue
think that's a
bringing on?
totally different issue at all.
It absolutely it is.
No.
I'll tell you
How is it
why.
different?
We didn't take over Bushy Road recently. Bushy Road has been around for a long time.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're
Do you-
holding us to a different standard than you hold yourself, because you repaved it right there.
We
When you strip the pavement off,
we
you have-
repaved it. Well, I'd like to rebuild every road in Swanton at
But
about
you
$1
have an
million plus
obligation.
dollars a mile,
That's fine.
and we don't have the money for it,
Right. But
okay?
you had an obligation by removing that pavement to upgrade it to the actual, not A76 standards.
We didn't have
It
an
actually has
obligation
to go-
to, and I'm
It
not here
does
to argue with
actually-
you.
It actually states when you rip a road up
Can I
that.
add to this?
No, no, we're not, we
No.
Yeah, no, I
gotta
think we
stop
need
the
to move
debate
on.
here, folks.
Well, wait a minute.
No.
No, excuse me just a second.
So all I'm saying is you just repaved Comstock the other day. That gets more than 250 vehicles per day. That's not even an A76 standard anymore. You're into a class 3 road. So is Bushy Road. So is Woods Hill Road, which you paved last year. What about your Swanton Hill Road? You have 3 houses on, and this town board did a great job. I drove up there, my wife and I drove up there. Why'd you spend all that money for 3 houses? They did a great job, I'm not debating that. It was amazing, it looks great. Why'd you do that for 3 houses, but you're willing to turn us down? What the hell? What, seriously? So, okay, I'm done with that, but I do want to propose a solution. Grandfather us in based on multitude of past promises. You set the precedent by taking over the first section. Yes, subsequent other developments that are existing could say, well, I took them over, you need to take us over too. You want to promote Swanton? Yes, you need to do this. You guys failed the plan to allow these developments to get in, but I do want to offer a solution. You need to kind of split it up. Maybe not a line in the sand, but some scenarios. New future developments, you guys already talked about that, versus you need to definitely approve the roads before any pavement's put down. You need to agree to take that road over. Because what happened with our road, I did my driveway, I had crushed stone on it. The guy paving it graded, even wanted to remove some of that crushed stone to get it down to the harder surface to get all the loose stone off the top. Same guy that paved the road. They removed stone off the top. It had stone. They put down the proper amount. Now, sir, you got some sections that are wavy and it smooths it out, so the high spots go into the low spots, and you might get some different readings. Where that spot you're referencing was 6.5 inches, you might have gone just a little bit further up the road and it was perfectly fine. Unfortunately, would I like to see 15 inches the whole way? Sure. But again, suggested, not required.
The reason it's suggested, so you increase it if that's what you wanna do. You make
It
it,
doesn't say, I have an engineering
It's-
degree as
it's-
well, Joel. There's a tolerance, I work with high precision machining, and all machining has
yeah.
tolerances, plus or minus something, come on. 15 inches, it doesn't say minimum, it says 15 inches. You need to consider that. So you need to split it up into 3 buckets. There's new and future developments, you guys do what you need to do on this. There's currently unpaved developments, or sections of development still unpaved. Kind of makes sense, that almost falls into a new and future development rule. You guys need to approve that, maybe dig down, instead of requiring a core sample, you could literally just dig a crushed stone road to find out what's under there, and if there's not enough, it's easy to remedy. The problem was there was already pavement on here. So if it failed, the problem was asking for the core samples to begin with, because what was the remedy? What'd you expect Bud and Vicky to do? Rip it up to nothing? To bushy roads, gravel, and repave it? Or add new gravel? And nobody's gonna do that. That's egregious to spend money to do that.
you wanted me to do it to all the roads in Taunton just a minute ago, and all
I
of a
didn't
sudden
say
you.
you should do it. I'm
Oh,
saying
no, you
because
said I was
did
required to do it.
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
you
no,
did
stop.
do it.
Folks, I'm ready to stop the conversation, we're
I
not
can
in
be done. I
anything
can
new
ask.
to the discussion right now.
Yep.
Or we can go, until midnight debating back and forth, it's up
Well,
to you
I think-
folks.
We
Just a
do have-
minute. I'm talking to the board members right now.
We do have one more individual here, and
Yeah.
I guess, it's only fair.
Be glad to let him talk.
So, I'm a developer, so you guys are speculating about what a developer thinking, what should we do to future developers? I live, Maple Grove Estate, and I'm a developer. What would I do now if I have to put a road in? I would wanna go by your specifications, I appreciate all the work you did in putting together solid specifications and guidelines for new developers. What's not in place yet, which is clear, is the ability of the town to monitor the process so that somebody doesn't get stuck like Bud did. I would want it, I would wanna come to you and with an engineer define where in the process I need to have an inspection, what that inspection needs to be, get a third-party engineer, as Alan suggests, that I would pay for. So at every step of the way, I'm not spending a dime that I'm not convinced and sure that the board is gonna approve my road.
Yep.
Now, the part that is different and does put us in a different category than, that puts you in a different category of telling somebody new that's doing a road, well, you approved this, or you can't approve that, or you. What Earl said is all true. And all of that stuff happened before the core drills were taken and before these new requirements were made. There's gotta be some kind of consideration for that. The road is not deficient in any way. This gentleman, you said something about all the roads in Swanton would all be buckling if there wasn't 18 inches below. I'm not sure that's exactly what you said.
No, I'm saying is if you lose 9 inches of stone under every road in 10 years, there would be no roads left in Swanton because the roads are hundreds of years old.
Yeah, and they don't have that anyway, and they're not falling apart, so, I mean, I can't say for sure, but
We got roads that got some big issues. I can
So
take
all
you
I'm
all
saying
around
is-
Swanton and show you that.
I don't want, none of us want you to accept an inferior road, this isn't. The core samples are the one thing that you have, it's a physical thing, it was compaction core samples, and Alan's got, I don't know why the engineer did it that way, I wouldn't, if it was put up for a vote, I don't think that's the way I would write the requirement for compaction core samples, if in fact you were gonna include core samples as some part of this approval process, but it really shouldn't get that far, right? You should have approvals along the way.
Correct, absolutely. You're absolutely
And
right.
the only reason you needed the core samples is because this got drug out. And I don't believe this is your fault that it got drug out. I don't believe that it's Bud's fault that it got drug out. And I don't, sure as hell don't think it's our fault. But it did, and now we're here. The road looks great. There is precedence for you not to have to explain to some new developer like me that I don't have to comply with your new standards. I wouldn't expect to not have to comply with your new standards. I would want to comply, and I would want everybody else to comply because you want a quality town, and you want quality roads and stuff. So I don't think it's that, I don't think the core samples they're a part of the story, but they're only one part of the story, and there's a lot of other parts. And the net gain for the city, if you accept the road, is a heck of a lot more than if you lay everything on these core samples, which is, I don't wanna speak for you, and you reject the road. What do you gain from that? The work that's being done, Bilal, brought the water situation up to par, don't have the permit yet, but he'll get it because he complied with what he was asked. That's not gonna be a big issue, and we're gonna pay for anything in the future that goes wrong with that anyway. So I don't see the risk for the town in that. The runoff's fine, I've lived there for 16 years now, or whatever it is, never been a problem. So the only thing that stands between you guys accepting this and not are some core samples, it seems. But I'll go back to what Earl said, I don't wanna lean on you, Earl, but there wasn't anything that you said that I think anybody on this side, nothing I disagree with, and that's exactly the way I saw the last 15 years. When I bought the house from Bud, it wasn't even a question, we discussed it, and I saw absolutely no reason. I mean, when I bought it, there was already, that first section was already built out, great houses, beautiful development. Why in God's name would any of us think that the town of Swanton wouldn't take the road? So I just want you to consider everything. And I'm a developer, I expect to develop in Swanton. I want to develop in Swanton, but I don't want this. So, and I know that you're working through how you're gonna set up this process so that everybody is clear, there's no risk involved, and they build good roads. I think that's great, I applaud you for that, I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so you stated there wasn't standards at the time, there were 876 standards. So again, we talked that we would probably even consider if we had that amount of material, to say it was okay, because we're now our new standard's 18 inches. And as far as the core test, that was the type of core was by the engineer.
Well, your engineer.
No, we didn't specify that type of core test. Peter Mazurek was working for the Hemans.
He's the one that.
He's the one that we met up on site over a year ago, talked about core samples and left it up to them, the Hemans and the engineer, to decide how to move forward. And we talked about the stormwater as well. There were two people up there that we talked with, one about the core samples and one about the stormwater, because one of the concerns of the board is the stormwater. And we know what the way ahead is if that's the path we go down. But that's what we did up there. It wasn't our engineer who specified that. And Pete Mazurek hasn't been at the last meeting we've had, or this meeting, to explain what he put down in saying doesn't meet the new requirement of 18 inches, and it doesn't meet the old requirement of 15 inches. He didn't say that part. I'm not quoting him on that. He just said it doesn't meet the new requirement of 18 inches. He didn't say, yeah, anyway, he sent the facts of what he took for the core samples. So,
There's one more young lady. Did you want to speak to? Are you a homeowner up there?
No, I'm my daughter.
Okay.
okay. So I think, board, we need to decide, are we moving forward? And the first thing, I guess, if we're moving forward, is we say whether or not we're accepting the road as it is. Haven't seen the pavement up there yet, understand, very nice job, haven't seen it.
Well, I guess that would probably be the way to go, and then if it dies, then that means we're not taking over the road. So I'll make the motion that we accept the road as is, provided that all the other requirements of the town policy are met. Town road policy are met, which would be the stormwater and the right of way and blah, 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 whatever's in there.
Motion's been made to accept the, I guess I'm gonna say road construction,
Yes, if you want to put it that way.
and have to meet all the other requirements of the road takeover policy. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Nay?
Nay.
Opposed?
Nay. Nays have it. Next item of business, speeding issue on Bushy Road. We said we were gonna bring this up. And I don't know really, I talked to the police chief a little bit about it. They were gonna put the trailer up there and get us a new road study, so we have some actual numbers to talk about. Being a rural road, very straight rural road, very hard to do much up there, so I don't know. Do we spend some money, hire a transportation engineer? What the police chief and I talked about, the only way we're gonna make any dent at all in speeding is the town and the village hire a full-time traffic control cop. Because they're spending a lot of time chasing other crimes that require two cops even to respond. So if we've got a guy on duty, the village calls and we go help him, and vice versa. So we're not spending time on the roads doing basic traffic control.
And I might add, I believe it was last evening, a Swanton police officer, I don't know whether he was doing the town or the village, doesn't matter, a Swanton police officer had to back up a sheriff in Highgate because there was no state troopers available. And he went, because the situation would have been.
Yeah, it's a safety issue for the police, and,
So.
it's the reality of the world we live in. But I don't know, we told the residents we would bring it back up, we're gonna get some more data of what's going on. They're gonna send our guy up there, you know, to do some extra patrolling, but,
Well, he has been up there because I was talking to Dave and Carol Hubbard just the other day, and they've been around that area. They've been putting time in, and I guess, you know, we probably better prioritize it for a while because, and I think if the word gets out, that'll help. It won't last forever, but it'll help some, you know.
Or we could use that help
Yeah.
on many roads.
Oh, wow, that's the thing. If you're looking at it full,
Yeah,
yeah.
I sat out painting a fence post the other day, across the street from my house. I almost got hit. I was 5 feet in. Somebody came by with a cell phone, you know. I watched her go up the road, and there was a guy coming down. She did the same thing. She was still on the phone. She went way around and at the last minute. I guess my point is, you mentioned a traffic control officer or something. We probably ought to look into that. I don't know what the expense would be. I have no idea how it would operate. But speeding is a very critical problem right now. And McQuam Shore Road is, as you know, it's a raceway.
Well, it brings up kind of an interesting discussion because I accidentally ran into one of the Highgate Select Board members. And, you know, they're not real excited about the sheriff's department. So, you know, maybe, you know, it'll make it more affordable if we're sharing something like that.
Whatever, I mean, I think we should look into it. It's a serious problem.
Yeah.
We're not gonna solve it here, but we need to come up with some remedies.
Yeah.
at
And
this
you got
point.
Catherine and
Yeah,
Richard back there. What do you think of that idea?
That's a fantastic idea.
The-
I
the-
also,
the
I
pro-
wrote it down too, see what else we might be able to offer to help.
the problem is if you bring Highgate in, then that's time that's not gonna be spent.
I know,
Right now,
but-
between the village and just the town
Yeah.
roads, we could have, and we're talking if just one officer maybe, and having them
One
do
officer.
different shifts, because you're gonna wanna police that, you know, some nights at 10 at night, some, you know, just one person would spend all his time
Doing that,
just in Swanton.
right.
Yeah.
And don't
But
forget,
we're trying to make it affordable. That would be the issue because we're still gonna have to pay our regular police
Oh, yeah.
section. You know, we're not gonna drop that and have this guy, so.
No, it'd be bringing
You
on
know,
another
yeah,
officer.
so just trying to make it affordable and
and don't forget,
easier to get
we're gonna
approved.
start hauling corn silage
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks.
Yep,
Now, there's some truck jockeys,
yep.
okay?
Oh,
We
yeah.
wanna see somebody, I mean, they really go like hell.
I know all about it.
Some-
I've done it.
I mean, and that's because, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. But we should make sure we put these things down this bit, okay?
I just have a question. Does the speed cart record any data?
Yes.
So it does.
Oh, very detailed.
So when you guys talk about the road patrol officer, in my opinion, and I know that people of Swanton hate this, the Swanton should look at policing like St. Albans did. To share the costs evenly, the village and the town need to share 24/7 coverage. Because, so I go to work every day at 5:45, and they have been around in the afternoons and you do see it in the afternoons, but the worst speed on Bushy Road is between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, they could sit there, you could have 50 cops sitting there right in front of our farm. They would run out of tickets and they could generate $1 billion worth of revenue for the town because they're not just getting people going 5 miles, it's 40, 50 miles an hour over the limit.
It's the commuters who don't have any
And they don't
interest.
care.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna stop until they get that ticket because half of them are gonna lose their license when they get the ticket because they're going so fast. And like you said, I did notice the afternoons that they've been around, it makes a big difference. But the problem we've always run into, and I've called and talked to the state police about it, is state police coverage, I think, stops at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and they don't pick back up until I think 7 or 8. So they're not on. Swanton PD is only covering the town in the afternoons into the very early morning hours. And everybody knows that there's just no police on the road at that hour of the day. And so maybe the thought we could have for now is if we could take some of that contracted time and maybe get an officer to come in early for one day, and then instead of covering the town from 5 to 2:30, they cover maybe an hour or two in the morning, and then, you know, trim it off of their afternoon time, but that's really the only thing that's gonna,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not easy.
and it's not just unique to Bushy Road, it's every road.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you guys said, every road is, people just don't care about anything and they like to drive fast.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
what I think I'm hearing is we need to have this discussion with the village.
Absolutely,
As
and
far
I think
as
they would
traffic
probably welcome
control.
it, that's
Yeah.
my guess, because they got the same problems in the village
Yeah.
as we do in the town.
And we'll get some more information and detail on
Yeah.
Bushy Road, Nick.
Yeah, we'll,
I like the idea of a traffic policeman too, but I think it would be advisable, and I think we're going to look at other ideas about how to slow down traffic on that Bushy Road Highgate
One thought on
intersection.
it, as long as we're gonna look at all our options, is it possible that that we could hire the sheriff's department for, to do that early morning thing every once in a while? Just to see if it's an option available, because that might be the quickest solution.
Give him a call.
I did read that in an article that I think did they speak to you or about policing, the messenger ran it, was you,
Yeah.
that the sheriff seemed like they were offering a la carte speed services out.
I guess it's worth making a call
Yeah.
to him, Brian, and see what, some available. We might be able to throw a little money on it this
Yeah, I
year.
mean,
Well, I think if
Because
we
like
talk,
you
it
said,
would get
there
something
more-
done immediately.
if we have this conversation with the village, that may be an option that we jointly pursue. I'm not sure we wanna go off on our own.
Well, it's
but we
only
can
for
talk to
this
the village
special
and see if they
service.
wanna do it kind of a joint
Yeah,
project with us.
but in the past, in fact, I specifically asked the chief if he could get more, because I knew people were concerned, this was before when they were building the first building, proposal, to be more visible, give us some daytime thing, but it's very difficult for them to do the shift changes like that for that short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do the scheduling, that's why he couldn't really do it.
The other reality put out on the table right now is they got 2 openings.
Yes, that's the other
And,
thing.
and so right now, the chief during the day several times is the only police officer
Yeah.
on duty.
Yeah.
So he's sitting at his desk trying to get all his other stuff done. And then if anything happens, he's gotta jump out in a car. So the reality is, even if we do look at more law enforcement, traffic control, not law enforcement, more traffic control, it's gonna be a while because they having problems filling the 2
And
vacancies.
maybe Earl's suggestion of just talking to the sheriff's department, if it's gotta be copacetic with the village and the
Yeah.
town, but maybe that might be an answer.
Right, we'll have that conversation at
Yeah.
our next meeting after we hear
Yep.
at the sheriff's office, and we can go talk to the
Yeah,
village
yeah,
prior to
yeah,
that.
sure.
Yep. Few things we can look at, but it's
Yep.
not,
Not guaranteed.
and if anybody, we got Ross is on, but, if anybody has any suggestions, let us know, cause it is difficult. Okay,
But we could be like Highgate, they just voted to put a speed bump on a dead end dirt road.
I'm not going there tonight. Local option tax,
in your packet, there was some new laws in the past. First of all, where the state was taking a third of local option taxes, they now only take a quarter, 25%.
Wow.
And it spells out what we need to do. And obviously, it's going to take a vote of the people at town meeting day, how the inner workings work. And then what we're talking here is a town-wide local option tax, town and village together. Then we need to talk, if we're going to go that route, we need to talk to the village trustees and
So
see.
it's allowable now to do.
No, no. If we become one taxing entity, if we are one taxing entity as the town,
Yeah,
okay, but the state tax department sees the village as another taxing entity, so there's still that, but the bill is still on the wall.
So-
We can try to move that. It's simpler, easier. The state's saying it's more complicated. I don't see how it can be. When you're trying to figure out if you bought that in the town, did you deliver it to the village buy it, and it's all in Swan. So that is, I'll be talking with Matt Walker, but I think we need to have a conversation with the village. And Bill has some ideas about we could have It depends what we're gonna use it for. If we both use it, both the town and the village were to use it for capital improvement, culverts, bridges,
Parks.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff, capital improvement. And I came up with another crazy idea in my head, but it's just a little wild, but.
Oh, what is it?
Well, if we had it town, what's stopping the town from, giving a grant for a project to the village?
Well, that's one of my thoughts. What about,
To do what?
Give a grant to the village of X number of dollars to
yeah,
go toward something.
Well, that's kind of
As long
what-
as it's in this.
what the discussion was, and we should have this discussion with the trustees.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
But first, it's whether we're even interested in going forward with it, but there's some talk, that they're interested,
yeah.
if we go ahead and get it passed as a town, they wouldn't go for a separate one
right.
and split the funds, possibly the way we do with the fire department right now.
Well, that was the question I had. What
Right.
difference does it make if the town approves it, but the town and the village agree to say, do it based on grand list?
Yeah. Well,
Is that a problem with the state?
Well, it's all untested territory.
Yeah, but why would it be?
I think the issue is if it's our tax,
Yeah.
the state's gonna give us the money.
Money, yeah, we
And
can,
then the question is, can we legally give money to the village?
okay, the other
That would be an
question,
agreement between the village and us.
but the other question would be, is that money has to be designated, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
So you can't, I guess that would have to be part of the voter approval process.
capital
Capital
project.
improvements.
Yeah,
Capital
Improvements / projects, and it allow us to, wide range of things to spend money on, but, yeah.
And then in the last 2 pages are the numbers that we came
Yeah.
up with originally, but of course then you can calculate it from there, but,
So what's it calculate to? What would it last year?
1% would be 300,
it'd be 300 and.
just move the decimal place 2 points,
Now,
right?
the 25%.
390,000.
Yeah.
Oh, 0.75.
Times 25% or 75, whatever. How
Times
much
this
is-
number right
What's
here.
the net,
Yeah.
not the gross?
And the-
That's 2023,
So
right?
in 2023, you would have received $293,644.
Net.
Yes,
Yes,
0.75% of the $39
Yeah,
million.
okay.
And that's for the whole Swanton Town
Right,
and Village?
yeah,
That would be money coming to the town, because if we pass it, it's all the voters in Swanton passing it. We get the 1%, and then if we come to an agreement with the village of how we would disperse that, with part of the agreement, I think that they're not gonna go out and do a separate tax, is what the,
See,
yeah.
it would be better if the state would take it up and put that in state law, but we have to do what we have to do.
Well, we need to accelerate that discussion with the village because it seems like probably the best way to do this is to put that capital fund together with designated areas, so when the voters go to vote, they know where the money's
Well, we
going.
know where their portion would probably be going right here.
Yeah,
But I mean-
to the bridge, and we could set ours aside, I don't know, maybe future
Culverts.
recreation needs,
Recreation, culverts.
Yeah, which,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we designate all the projects we want,
No,
it's to a
no,
capital
this is
fund.
Going to capital.
And then we'd have some kind of a process to extract that money
Right.
for certain
Yeah.
projects.
well,
Right.
when you extract that money, it has to be voter approved. Yeah, that doesn't like a slush fund, I don't believe.
I think you do have to get voter
Yeah.
approval.
We could, we're thinking too far ahead.
Yeah.
Let's get this underway first.
Yes, because if we don't get it underway, we gotta try to sell this, because a lot of people are gonna see it as, this is another tax. Well, the good news is, a lot of people outside of Swanton buy at Swanton Lumber, they go to the restaurants, so it's not like we're just directly gonna impact the Swanton taxpayer.
Yes, we want this on rooms, meals,
Oh.
alcohol, and
Yeah.
general merchandise.
And
So,
we
okay.
need,
Does that
we need
include
the money
gas?
because,
Gas?
No,
we had the discussion about the railroad depot. We've got buildings that need maintenance, and we're probably gonna end up having to redo the heating system in here, that's not gonna be a cheap thing. So, having that money there will keep
it
the
gets
tax
pretty
rate
cold here
stable,
in the afternoon.
help to keep it stable.
How do they maybe you don't know or you can ask, how do they track online sales for.
Just a
this
minute,
tax.
Ross, we'll get with you.
It's done on the Vermont Department of Taxes website.
So I live in Swanton, but I have a St. Albans mailing address, and I pay this tax to St. Albans every time I buy something online. But I don't live in St. Albans. So that's why I'm curious,
By zip
because
code.
that's what, but there has to be a better way for, because most towns in Vermont have different zip codes than the town you actually live in. So I'm curious on that number that they provided you guys, if it's actually accurate because of how many people in Swanton are probably already paying the online portion of that tax to St. Albans.
Yeah, but some people in St. Albans have Swan addresses, so it probably equals
That's what
out
I'm
at the end of the
That's,
day.
that's why I'm curious. how it-
Yeah, we're not gonna have that detail here tonight.
No,
I mean,
just
this
mean
is,
just add it to Brian's list of
Yeah.
questions, just 'cause
this is the revenue though in Swanton, right? This is the number for Swanton right now.
But at one point, Tractor Supply was told that the state had to collect it. And it was, you know,
Ross would like to speak.
Ross?
Yeah, Oliver's point is a good segue to what I was gonna say is one thing we gotta be clear to the voters about is the fact that they're already paying this in other towns. And as bad as it sounds, and I'm not all for other taxes, we're missing out on an opportunity to expand our offerings to people and have people that don't live here help offset the costs. So that's the biggest selling point. I know, Joel, you mentioned like the selling point and try to get this out to the people. Like that's the biggest thing. They're paying this in St. Albans, so we need to take advantage of the people that come through Swanton and buy things every single day in our stores.
Yep, I agree. It's the only way this is gonna work is by a real good job of trying to sell it because people hear new tax and anyway. I think we got enough information. Do we want to get a joint meeting going here?
yeah.
Soon.
Soon, very soon.
And from my perspective, is this board comfortable without a state law that gives us specific guidance? If we pass this, we're willing to get into an agreement with the village
Yeah.
and test it, because what's the
In
worst?
writing.
The state could come at us and
Right.
say, you
Right.
can't give that money to the village?
Yeah.
That's the worst scenario.
And we can still put in that capital reserve, but whatever 23% of their 23% would be village and the other 77 would be town. It'd be quite simple.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. I'm not
Yep.
sure the state would even touch it.
I don't think so
they'd be-
either. Why would they? We're not.
They're not
you know,
that interested.
We're doing what the money's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we'll get, on that too. Yeah.
Okay, I guess what I didn't add it, but welcome signs, they should be in, toward the end of the week or early next week. So we still gotta look at other locations. We'll at least get one up at the town garage and we'll get the one down at the VFW, those three, pieces for that one.
Yeah, well, town garage, of course, I know it's difficult, we're a bad place, but that misses where a lot of people are getting off the interstate.
I was gonna say we can talk about that more with Swanton Promotion because there's some other folks here that
Okay. Grant for the historical building.
So, yeah, it was discussed last meeting about, doing, the town and Brian in particular, researching a grant for the, from the state for the, repairing the historical site depot program of, Depot Museum. I just want to see where that's at.
Well, I started the application. I'm pretty well done with, I'm now waiting for the numbers to come back from Laz. Laz was to meet with Patrick Menard, but unfortunately Laz was called out of town unexpectedly. He had to go to Chicago, I guess, for a family matter. So I got to touch base with him, see if he's back. Then he'll get the numbers from Patrick, and we'll have it done in time, certainly, for the October 7th deadline.
Did Patrick go down and?
No, but he
No.
did read what,
He did see,
and he
okay.
says, you're talking lots
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah.
No surprise there.
So we'll, but it's, yeah, it's underway. We're just making sure.
And, but there's a deadline on that grant.
October 7th.
7th?
7th, yeah.
Okay, Newtown business, appointments to the planning commission. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, we supported the
two nominees. Okay, and in your packet, you've got two nominees who've expressed an interest. Desiree Ledoux, who resides at 15 4th Street, and then Sean Cheney resides at 205 McQuam Shore Road. They're both known to the planning commission, and by the members of the planning commission. I met Desiree when she dropped off her application. She seemed to be very full of ambition and wants to get going on things locally, so.
This'll make you whole, right? This is,
Yep.
that's great news. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Desiree Ledoux and Sean Cheney to the planning commission.
I'll
Here's a
second that.
Motion been made in second. Any discussion? Hear none. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Ross
Opposed?
has joined us again.
Opposed?
Too late.
We just approved them, Ross. All right.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, we approved them both.
Okay, thanks. My earbuds died, of course.
Well,
All right.
yeah, that's
Have a
good.
good evening.
All right, you
Thank you.
too.
Thank you.
Issues at the Swanton Public Library.
Okay, I was hoping for getting a report, because I've asked for it for 3 different times. A couple of weeks ago now, the library, the elevator in the library, the pit flooded, some serious flooding again. As dry as it's been, the pump stopped and it filled up. It necessitated, we could, of course, when we get down and do any work there, you have to get our Alliance, which is a mechanical contractor, to take care of the pumps, but you have to have an elevator tech there because they're working in the pit under the elevator. So that took some coordination, so they were there on a Friday and got started. And then it appears that the pumps have burned out, and from what the indication are, and this is where I've asked for a report, is that the pumps were going into an 1.5-inch line, and that line over the years has become full of, so it was really like the size, the diameter of a garden hose pushing. That may have caused the problem. But they're working now, for now. I don't know what the bill is going to be, but we had them there. They had to replace both pumps. They had them there they were there until 3 o'clock in the afternoon or thereabouts. We had to get an electrician at the spur of the moment at 12 noon, and he was there till about 3 o'clock. I don't know what the electrical problem was. There was no, we had to do it, otherwise the water would have been out over the, and it was also brought to my attention that we cannot ever have that door open to the elevator to that pit without a tech there, ever.
Did they replace the pipe?
No, that's why I wanted to hear.
Wow,
about it.
they should be
I know, they should
right
be
off
replaced.
as soon
Yeah,
as possible. I can't believe they didn't replace the pipe at the same time.
I called them 3 times looking, I said, you need to get that, I want exactly what's wrong and fix it. So that's,
Okay, that's one of the issues there.
Yeah.
So when we get that report,
Yeah.
send us a note.
I will.
You got other ones, right?
I just had a question, and we're going back a little bit. In the minutes, and I should have asked this when we approved them. We said we'd like to get an estimate of what the income the library has received, because we had the library report, but we really didn't have a good
Yeah.
report. I think we were gonna ask them
Did
for
you,
that.
I forwarded that.
Oh, I
You
probably
sent
still
it
in
to
my
everybody.
inbox.
Did I, you sent it to her?
Yeah.
I think,
I talked with Abby about it too, so she knows.
it went out to everybody's email.
Yeah.
I think you should have gotten it. Was it, what day was it?
Okay, well, I don't
The only thing
remember.
is that they said that there was a $30,000 grant they were getting, that's actually only 10,000 on the bottom of the.
So they're working on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
It was like, last Monday.
Yeah, I think I remember now. Yep.
Okay, so my
Okay.
point is, and I know everybody's trying to get it, we really ought to give them a due date for that
I
information.
didn't get it.
What's that?
I don't remember seeing it.
I can re-forward it then, I don't know.
I didn't
Yeah,
get
if you
it.
could.
Yeah, I don't remember getting it either.
No.
Okay,
That'll be easy, I can go pull out my
Yep.
email, I'll send it to you.
So one thing that came up during the conversation about the elevator issue is that the highway department doesn't have a pump, so they had to borrow a pump from someone else.
Well, the
And
sub pump.
The sub pump, yeah.
That was Patrick's sub pump.
Okay.
They don't have a sub, but as it turns out, we can't even allow that. So that thing floods, it's gonna flood.
Okay.
We can't open it up anymore, we can't drop it in there because that's against the law.
well, we gotta look at that. If they need an elevator tech there, that's one thing, but you're saying we can't with an elevator tech there?
No,
With
we
an
have to
elevator
have-
tech.
no.
That's what, yeah,
Yeah,
so,
tech there,
right,
yeah.
so with a tech there, we could
We can,
possibly bail it out, but,
right, but it takes a while for the kids.
Right. right, oh yeah.
I was trying to suggest.
What's a while?
Well, they come from Montpelier,
But they will come the day you call.
Maybe.
maybe not. It depends if they're if they've got work going.
Yeah, we gotta figure the pipe out and have
Yeah.
2 pumps,
Right.
backup and then, he said he
If-
replaced both of them.
If we had a torrential downpour, like, Montpelier gets flooded and all these elevators, it'd be a while before they get here.
Both,
So,
are both pumps needed or one's a backup?
One's a backup, but they both burned out.
So nobody knew when the first one burnt out.
Right.
There's no kind of electronic notice of
There
light
isn't.
bulb, or
There-
all you gotta do is put a damn light bulb in.
There is a alarm on it that did finally trigger. The alarm did trigger.
After both motors.
High water alarm
High
probably.
water alarm trigger.
But nothing for the motors.
No,
No way of knowing if a motor's not working unless you open up that cover and look, but you can't.
but you can't. Yeah. That's.
So you put 2 alarms on it, so there's one just above the first pump, so you sound an alarm before the second.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
should be. There should be some kind of alarm system.
All I know is ever we get to any building that has to have an elevator put in, do not have one of that design. And-
Yeah, that-
Where does the water
That's-
go?
We're
Yeah.
gonna do some other research on this.
Yeah, I think
Let's ask about a second
Yeah,
water alarm.
yeah.
first thing is make sure we're gonna get them pipes replaced and email us when you know it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And then you should look into some kind of alarm system for them motors. You know, so you know the first one's gone, you don't wait until they're both gone before you call. You could call after the first one goes, so you know, we're not gonna be in that situation again.
Well, this all goes back to a discussion we've had for some time. We need somebody, even on a part-time basis, to be a maintenance person.
Agreed.
This is getting,
Yep.
I can't sometimes drop.
Yeah, I know, I understand that, but still, looking for an alarm system is something that,
Right, no, that
yeah.
should have been wired that way. to begin
Yeah,
with.
but let's find out who we can get to do it. Maybe Alliance can do it if you have to talk to
I
them.
probably could.
Yeah.
Anyone else to the library?
Yeah, the other thing is the library trustees keep bringing up the light fixture. I went over with them that, I know we were waiting to the fall, and you're looking at cheaper alternatives in regards to actually replacing the fixture. They didn't give me that much pushback about that. They just gave me kind of pushback about how long it's taking, and that they suggested that people need light. So, they just wanted more of a timeline on when that might be.
Well, we could put some lamps in.
That
Tell
could,
them we'll give
Yeah,
them a
that's-
lamp when they give us the report we're looking for.
And the other thing is, there's a bank of light, not very far from that at
Yeah.
all. Have you looked at the area?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, you take a look at the area and come back and tell us how serious this light issue is.
Okay, I will take a look at the area.
And,
Yeah.
and keep in mind too, there's no place for somebody to sit down and read. I think there's one chair in the corner, but.
Yeah, take a look.
This is
I'll take, and this
Okay,
is coming from the
library.
trustees.
I know, so.
Here's that library report.
Okay, anything else on library?
Nope.
I'm gonna move up the Act 250 opt-in tier 1B instead of, the emergency plan right now, if that's all right with everybody.
Fine.
Yes, you did, and you were right.
You can come to the table.
Yes, how's Catherine doing?
Good, how are you all
Doing
doing?
well.
Nice light agenda for the evening.
One of the easier ones.
Yes. So, this is a return trip from when I was here before to tell you about something that was happening in theory, and now it's happened in actual real life, so I'm back. So the Regional Planning Commission has updated our regional plan, and we have a draft plan. And under the new state law, the regional plan is now going to do two things. One is set the boundary for the state designation program. Swanton has a designated village now. They applied for individually, got approved by a state board. Now instead, those boundaries are just gonna be set in the regional plan. And once our plan is approved at the state level, the towns don't have to do anything else. Your designations are gonna be automatic. The second thing that our regional plan will now do is it will set a boundary of a growth area within which you could have different Act 250 jurisdiction for housing. So instead of needing an Act 250 permit for 10 units or more, you would only need an Act 250 permit if you build 50 units or more on 10 acres, on more than 10 acres within that growth area boundary.
Is that an aggregate, Kathy?
It's a one, like for a one-time project, there's not that same like,
You can't aggregate it and then all of a sudden we're disqualified.
no, it's not like the 5 mile rule or whatever that is,
Okay,
yeah.
so you couldn't put 20 and 20 and 20, then it's over for if it came to
I
the
think
city?
each project is determined individually.
Okay.
So
that's
20
yeah,
is
that's-
standalone, and the next 20, and the next 20.
Okay.
In order for that benefit to happen within Swanton, the select board has to choose to opt in. So you get to decide, do you want the growth areas to have that different Act 250 jurisdiction? And in Swanton, if you look at the maps that we sent,
So those are in black and white.
yours are in
Shine
black and
gray.
white. Well, lucky for you, I brought some color.
Just send me things that are color different. I have unlimited color printing. Send them to me, and I will.
That one?
Yep.
Alright,
You guys want a colored one?
alright, so let's look at this zoom in map here. Let's look at the village, let's see the village.
Next to last page.
Next to the last page.
Okay.
The last color page, yeah. When you look at that map, the area that's in the maroon in the very center, plus the area that's in the like pink around it, so just and the pink around it, those two areas are the places that are eligible for the different Act 250 jurisdiction. So the way our regional plan is drawn now, if you choose to opt in, those, all the properties within the pink and the mauve color would be eligible for the different Act 250 jurisdiction, 50 units or less. In addition to meeting with you, we've met with the planning commission a couple of times to talk about the proposed boundaries, and we have aligned it with your town plan as much as possible, with your new town plan, your new zoning districts, to show where these growth areas are. And we also balance that with the requirements of the state law to come up with these boundaries that you see here. And so the question before you is, do you want to have Swanton vote to have a different jurisdiction, to have that 50 unit trigger instead of the 10? The goal of this change really is to make it easier and hopefully less expensive to build housing.
And that's the only,
That's the bottom line.
that's the only area in Swanton that's gonna be
That's
covered.
the only eligible area in Swanton. Because of the way the state law was written, it's pretty specific about needing to have sidewalks, needing to have mixed-use zoning, needing to have a bunch of other requirements. And so we drew it as big as we could for Swanton within the requirements of the state law.
Yeah,
Then you
because
have-
otherwise Act 250 would probably require most of that stuff, so they're like, okay, you can, yeah, we can
Yes.
lighten up a bit if you already have that.
This would be exempt from Act 250 where people can come in and complain about noise,
What
lights,
exactly is gonna
all
be
that
exact?
stuff,
What's
the
he
criteria that
taking
makes
care
them
of?
unhappy.
Yeah, just this
Yes.
right here.
It would be
This,
exempt from Act 250.
this,
If that's
Or
all right, trust anybody.
this.
50 units or less, on 10
So
acres
there
or
could be,
less.
there could be more building over
And
here.
Yeah.
This could
this
turn into
area
housing
here,
developments that would be easy.
and
to
this
That
area.
land ain't right for us, I think.
Okay.
So those two to
That
combine.
big old spot.
But it still goes to our development
But there's-
review
but
board.
there's-
Absolutely.
Still
Right, so
All of your
that's
road-
where, that's where they get to go and do
Exactly.
Yeah,
So all of your
benefit
local
the growth
regulations
that,
stay in
Yeah.
place. It doesn't change your local regulations, it doesn't
is
usurp
where
them,
Pool-
it doesn't make
Pooling
them
Green
stricter or
is.
less strict.
Who?
Nothing
Pooling
changes
Green's
with your
right
local
there.
regs.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, so there's no real,
yeah,
At the
now
end of
it's
the day,
over here, yeah, that's.
Earl, you guys, it's very difficult to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, so nothing changes with your local regs, and nothing changes with other state permits, so if you need a stormwater permit, you still need a stormwater permit. If you need a, wetlands permit, you still need a wetlands permit. So all of those still stay in place, you need a curb cut permit, you forget that, but it would just be Act 250 that would change.
I got a question, on this Bigelow property. Are you sure that land's not in the land trust?
It is.
It is, isn't it?
But the map, I believe, was drawn based on a certain radius from the village. That's why it's.
Okay, so it was actually,
This is on
yeah,
this parcel. is
yeah,
on
that
the
parcel
first.
right there. Maybe you could put it somewhere else,
It'd be great if it wasn't.
so we don't lose, so we don't lose land.
So it's just to the west side
Yeah,
of,
just so- yeah.
Baby Road?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see any real disadvantage to us by, implementing this.
No.
No, I don't either.
So this resolution, we just do this at our level, doesn't need to go to the public for vote, right? Just at the select board level?
Correct. Yeah, it's just
And
a
I've got
legislative-
the copy ready to go to sign, so, and what you've got is the template. If you go down to the very last paragraph, above the signature on the second page, then it says the municipality hereby requests to have, and I took out the other two, the village center and planned growth area.
Now, I assume that the village is well aware of the trustees that have had this
Yeah,
discussion.
they're
Yeah.
actually, I believe, wanting it.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we'd had this discussion way
And
back.
they did meet with
Yeah.
the trustees way back on that website.
Yeah.
The plan, and of course you have a joint planning commission, we've discussed it with them.
So the boxes are just,
They're just there.
should be like dots or something
Yeah, you
versus
should- you should
boxes.
check them off.
Well, it's kind of weird, like pick this, pick
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
or,
pick them off.
Oh, and are we supposed to pick them?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's true for
well,
Swanton, so you,
all
as
you do
part
is
of,
just put a dot there instead of a box, and it looks like checking it kind of weird, as far as I'm
putting
concerned for.
dots.
however.
No, we can sign the back sheet, and you can redo the front sheet, and, yeah.
Yeah, as part of being eligible for that different activity jurisdiction, you have to state that you have the local capacity to administer your own development regulations, and that's what all those little check boxes are.
Okay. What we can do is also sign this at the next meeting, I think.
It needs to be done by September 30th.
It would be
Okay,
awesome if
All right.
it was. And the reason why.
we'll sign it,
is because- Okay, you don't need to know my reason, okay.
Yep,
Well, I'll make the motion that we sign this municipal resolution, to designate these areas as, what do you call it again?
Village center and planned growth area,
Okay,
Tier 1B,
village center and planned growth area.
tier 1B.
Tier 1B status.
What'd you call it? Oh,
Tier 1B status.
okay, tier 1B status, all right. hold on.
motion's been made, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the resolution designating the village center and the planned growth center for tier 1B status. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And
So
I'll
moved.
have Joel sign it. Only the chair has to sign it.
Fabulous, and you'll be sending me a copy.
Yep.
Fabulous, this is great, yay.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you all, and coming soon, if Swanton is ever interested in the future about working toward tier 1A status, which is where everything would be exempt from Act 250 in those two areas, then we talk to you about an assessment of what you would need to do differently to qualify.
What two areas?
Those
same two.
the
Same
same two.
two, same two.
Which, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
So we'll
Okay.
talk about that in the future, so just put a bookmark in that.
all right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all very much,
Thank you.
it's nice seeing you,
Yep.
good luck with the rest of your agenda.
All right,
Thank you.
Good.
emergency management plan 2025 adoption.
That was sent to you by email with the agenda last week. I don't have copies for it here. I have the original. It's, I've looked through it, as Reggie said.
Night, Oliver.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Reggie is, I guess, reported to you, it's pretty much the same. Some phone numbers have changed and whatnot, but it's pretty boilerplate.
I was gonna say, pretty boilerplate of who to call for this type of emergency and
Yeah.
contact information.
Yeah, I read through it. There's a few changes, but there's nothing. At least that I saw, but I don't think there's anything big.
Anybody wanna make a motion to adopt it then?
Second,
There you go.
Motion's been made and second to adopt the emergency management plan for 2025. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Appointment to Swanton Rec.
Yeah.
The Swanton Rec Board would like to, or has made a recommendation to appoint Rob Sweet to the Board of Directors. Rob asked me to share a little information about him with you folks, as he was unable to make it to this meeting tonight. He is a father of 2 young children, lives locally here in Swanton Village. He has been a interested party in recreation since he was a young man, and he's just looking for ways to give back to his community, and he feels that this is a good avenue for him to do so.
And the board has met him, right? They meet him on
Correct.
the last night or whatever.
The previous meeting, yes.
Yeah, some spoke.
What's that?
I saw him spoke. He was nice.
Motion
You were
to
there?
approve it?
I was there. I'll make a motion to approve Rob Sweet to the Swanton Recreation Board.
I'll second it.
Motion been made in second.
I abstain.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Update on Swanton promotion, promote Swanton.
Okay, we got a few things here.
So you will have received this in your email as well, but I'm going to share just a paper copy. Earl and I had gone on Richard Copperthwaite with Susie to just talk a little bit more about our promotion efforts, and I feel like this is just a great way for all of you. I've looked at this many times. As we continue to talk about it to the public as you know, just a way to have standardized information that we're putting out. I also crafted a slideshow which you can view digitally, but I have a paper copy here as well if anybody would like to look at it. And it's just really about our continued story of economic development and how we're promoting ourselves. And in that, we talk about the signs and how we're welcoming visitors to our community with more signs, our rebranding and our logo, our brochure, and other avenues and things that we're doing, including wayfinding. And in the back of the presentation, you'll also see one of the reasons why I feel that wayfinding is important, especially to our downtown, because our partners in the village, Swanton Village, are working on some improvements to make that downtown a little bit more accessible. So as we can continue to talk about tourism and what those things are, I just wanted to make sure that the board was prepared to be able to have that conversation at any given time. So I can share that down there, but like I said, you will have it digitally.
this is what you discussed with Richard.
Yes.
Yeah,
When was that? There's no date on it.
last Thursday.
It is available on YouTube if you'd like to
So
watch
that
it.
would have been, 11th, maybe,
11th.
yeah, it was 9/11, you can't forget that date.
In addition to that, we are close to our deadline with the drone photographer. Did either of you receive the link with his photos?
Yeah.
Could somebody forward that on, because I don't have
We
permissions?
just get, I don't think we can't open
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
no, I opened it.
it. Did you? I couldn't.
Oh, we'll have to work on that tomorrow morning. No, I'll have to show you. I opened it.
If you need help,
They
I'm
look
happy
great.
to come here, but I need to get that
Yeah, we
information
need,
tomorrow to the website
Yeah,
developer.
we need to get them to EcoPixel.
And then right around mid-October, we're hoping to be able to go live with some of those changes, which would work out greatly with the grand opening of the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah,
can
that's the
finish
same
up.
thing I have, but I can't open the link.
Yeah, so I don't know.
We've pretty much got the brochure ready, so we could get that going too. Hopefully, we can almost do it all at the same time, you know. And the website will get up right. Won't be finished. All the changes won't be there, but the business section will be, and that's why we want to do the brochure about the same time. It's because of that QR code on the brochure. We'll be going directly to that.
Okay. Hearing you talk about QR codes is great.
I'll never use one. I'll never use one, but I know what they are.
Wait, go to the right restaurant somewhere, that's what you have to do to order, but anyway,
Well, go to
okay, what
another
else
one.
from Promote Swanton?
I
That's
found
all
a
I
place
have.
in Fenway
Right.
that takes cash.
So, as we finish up the Promote Swanton, I need to know if you guys are trying to get the other locations for the Swanton signs or not.
Well, the most of the ones that we talked about is one on Lakewood Drive. The other one is coming into, off the interstate, but I don't know how you're gonna work that in there because you're gonna have to end up going almost on the line between, cause I don't know the state, you're not gonna get there right away probably, in that area, cause it's all wetland.
Coming off the interstate.
Yeah, headed towards Swan.
Well, isn't there one there now? Couldn't we replace
Well,
it?
It's up on Valley's property now.
Yeah, maybe we could use it there then. Yeah, that would be, I
The one
mean,
that's there.
cause there's a lot of traffic there coming in to Swan.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, and I guess it would be even if we put it up at the town garage, the people getting off the interstate, coming into Swanton there, I mean, they know they're coming to Swanton. I
Yeah,
guess-
but they ain't got a welcome sign to look at.
Okay. Well, okay, so then that's a little bit of a change, so are we looking at the Valley property? Is someone gonna go talk to them?
Yeah.
Otherwise, these things are gonna sit up at the town garage after.
Okay.
If that's what I
Trying
need
to
to
get
do,
them.
I will do that.
What's that?
I said I can do that if that's what needs to be done.
Well, we need permission if we're gonna go in and, we could
Right.
just go in and try replacing the existing sign and see if anybody says anything, but it'd be better to talk
Better
to
to
them.
talk to them first.
Yeah,
We'll
I
do
need
that
4
tomorrow.
places and I'll be glad to
Right by
Uh,
Bakersfield,
get them
on the
things
Valley property.
installed.
The one on the
Lakewood.
Highgate
Oh,
Road.
under the interstate, once you get off.
There's
on the
a,
left?
so basically, the one on the Highgate Road, there's a,
Yeah.
the Swanton St. Albans sign is on that road, like, on that road where,
I think I can see
Andy's
it.
is.
I can
Yeah.
see it.
So there's a piece of scrub land on that, that's in Swanton,
Kind of where Stephanie.
that's on the other side of that road, basically across from Handy's,
Store.
where it would be a perfect location for it, because it's in Swanton, you're passing right by that road in
No, I'm
Handy's.
curious.
I don't know who owns that piece of scrub land.
I don't know Duck, either.
Yeah,
Well, one of the discussions we had with, especially Susie, seemed to think it would be better on Route 7 around the Hudak property because they're coming into more businesses and 207 usually they're headed down the Butcher Road out to Enosburg, Sheldon, and you know that's what that kind of traffic there.
it is.
But I don't know, half a dozen. I'll compromise on that one, but if I have to,
I'm partial to the area we live near
you know. Yeah, because you live there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like I say, I can compromise on that one. I think you know.
Well, are you,
But
So-
we do. How many signs do we have?
we're getting 4.
Well, we could still do one on Route 7, and we'd still have one left.
That's the stop.
No, we would. Yeah, one there.
We were talking
Interstate,
out-
Lakewood. Yeah, that
We
would
were talking
be,
one out towards St. Albans on Route 7.
Yeah.
One out by Lakewood.
And one here on 78 coming into the village.
and
Yeah.
then-
Have we introduced the number, the traffic count in these locations?
Well, visual would be enough for most of these locations because that's where all the traffic goes.
Okay,
Steve.
well, I know that, but I mean, do we have a requirement that we'd like to see, wherever we put it, we wanna see a minimum of 12,000 vehicles a day or something like that, or?
We did not take that into consideration. There was existing 4 signs and one of them was up on not Canada.
One was on the old Route 7 going to
Right,
Highgate.
Highgate.
Which is,
And I think you get into, you know, if you get counts, just raw counts, you'd also want to take a look at how many were commuters and versus
Yeah.
new people, you know, yeah.
but there is quite the possibility that the village would replace that sign as "Welcome to Swan Village." You know, I think I almost should say that. Yeah, it may just say Swan. I don't remember.
We
I don't go on that
we
road
put
very
Swanton on and down at the bottom
Yeah.
it says town.
Yeah,
It's
I know
got-
on
it's
the
got
new
a-
one. Yeah,
right.
on the new one, but I'm talking the old one.
one's just
Yeah,
Swanton.
yeah.
Just
So
Just
who's
one.
gonna run down the locations? Is it the Promote Swanton group?
Well, we pretty much have agreed to that. Those would be the locations. We didn't know about the 4th sign, so that's a free player. Our 3 locations would have been here on 78 coming into the village, or where the existing was on the Valley's property. The other one would be on Lakewood Drive, and then the other one would be on Route 7. So that would leave the
What about
last one
Upper
for
Spring
207.
No, the traffic comes in from that direction.
What was that, Kathy?
No, I didn't know if they were gonna put it up on Spring Street. coming
No,
up.
that road doesn't get used anything like it used to, you know, it used to be a main route at one time.
I mean, on Spring Street, most people coming to Swanton, if you're like from Canada, you're gonna be on the interstate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, I think that road mostly gets used by people going from Highgate going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those will be locations, you know, we'll have to do something down on Lakewood Drive or probably.
Yeah,
so
you're
we
gonna call
don't
tomorrow
appro-
and find out.
Yeah, we don't wanna approach the wetlands, but I'm sure the grade of the road goes out, so if we can bank, you know, build a bank, we can fill it and then put the posts in, you know what I mean, something similar to
State
the
highway
Creamy
though.
place.
State highway.
78 is on our right of way. I mean, Lakewood Drive is our right of way.
Lakewood Drive, yes.
Yes, we'd have to back off whatever the state is, but I don't think it would be.
Well, take a look, see if you can find a spot and let us know.
Yeah,
Okay? What else have we got? Sorry,
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
This got passed out, I was asking about the income income for the library.
Yep.
Is that what this is?
Yes.
yeah, that's what it is.
You know, I think you've heard me before, when we get a report, I didn't even know who the hell this was from. It's not dated. There's no information on there that I find useful. Could we buy a couple of stamps that says received? And when we get, because if we had to look this up in 5 years from now, we'd say, where the hell that come from? Maybe a stamp that says received, the date we received it, where it came from and where it's going. Very simple thing. So we have,
Probably not a bad
so we
idea,
have an
something
audit
like
trail. Anything that comes to this board.
I'd be able to find it sometime.
This is meaningless to me, I have no idea, I haven't even looked at it. I've never been impressed with what they've given us before, I'm not saying I won't be on this one, but
Well, take a look at it, I guess. So I guess that's pretty much for promotion, right, where we are?
oh, I thought we were all done with that, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
alright, so, done with promote Swanton. Question regarding this, and I guess, take a look, cause some of the stuff comes in electronically, so it's
Yeah.
attached that way, but if it is printed off, have some type of
I mean,
Should
information on
say
it.
library.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any financial report, income statement, whatever, it always says what it is, who's for, and the date.
absolutely, and this is again, I hate to say it, I'm gonna tell you, this is another poor example of the record keeping at the library.
Wish I hadn't had it.
Okay, okay.
So buy the stamps, please.
Any other necessary business? I'm just bringing up agenda items for the meeting of October 7th. I wanna have a discussion on special funds. What we've spent, what is sitting out there, cause it's time for us to make some decisions on some of the special funds, on what we're doing or not doing. So, October 7th, I would like to add that to the agenda, and I don't know if anybody has anything,
No, the only thing I have to ask Kathy to give us a detailed report as of October 7th meeting on the special funds. What's there and what's been used. And what's allocated or spoken for. Okay, thank you.
And one other question, I think at the last meeting when we went over the budgets, this might have been the one that's the budget that had the expenditure for the big new truck that we had.
It would have been 34%.
Thank you. 34.
I did it and I never sent out an email saying.
It only reminded me
Because I
that
did do it.
I'm looking over the stuff today and I said, oh, crap, we forgot to get that. 34?
Yeah, 34.
Thanks.
okay, correspondence,
I have no correspondence.
public comment.
Oh,
Time to call it a wrap tonight, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah.
Alright, upcoming events.
Thursday, September 18th will be the Swanton Enhancement Project annual meeting at 5:30 at the Village Municipal Complex. Thursday, September 25th, 2025 will be the Developmental Review Board meeting at 6 p.m. at the Town Office. Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 will be a Select Board meeting at 6 p.m. at the Town Office. Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 will be a Planning Commission meeting at 5 p.m. here at the Town Office. Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, your property taxes are due 5 p.m. You don't have to send a birthday card, but that's my birthday. So once again, Wednesday, October 15th, your property taxes are due at 5 p.m.
Just send her a donation.
In form of property
Okay, well,
you're born on tax day, is that what you said?
Yes.
real quick, regarding Thursday's meeting with the Swan Enhancement Project, several of us here will be at that meeting. Yes, but special guest is Ted Brady. He's the executive director of Vermont Leagues and Cities and Towns, so I would encourage other board members to consider going and listening to what he has to say. And
So you want to
There
warn
are-
a meeting?
we did, that's what she was just saying, because we know there's at least 3 of us
When
gonna
is
be
it
there.
supposed to be?
This is Thursday night at 5:30.
This Thursday?
And there will be light refreshments. Shaggy's Pizza will be there as well. So there will be some food. Anyway, I just want to put a little more emphasis on that because it's
Where?
at the village complex. Because they invited him in, we're trying to get
More.
a few more
yeah.
people and stuff to attend, and I think it'd be great if you could.
What time to start?
5:30.
5:30?
Yeah,
So it gets done early then.
should be done by 7 at the latest.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
Might be able to get away with it.
All right, here's your invitation. Right there.
Mr. Chair,
All right, anything?
I have one announcement, is that next week, I'm on vacation for the week and will be gone until the following Monday.
Good.
All right, we know, and
I just
Right
need
there,
your
she'll be here.
signature. Or your emergency management plan. Sign saying that.
Well,
Okay.
Christine, grab your emails. If I send you an email, you'll
Yeah.
take a look at it.
I will also have my computer with me, so
Go on vacation.
I'll, well, that's what Lynn says, I still like to see what's going on.
any other business? Motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Second? Motion been made, seconded. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.